Welcome to Pug TV. This is Jadrian, just firing up everything here, kind of getting all set. Tonight, after I adjust my volume, we are going to do the Episode 2 final reveal. How's it going, Shadow? I see Nabuda out in the viewers. Thank you both for coming. Let's see, I'm just getting set up here. I'm accepting. Let me zoom in so you don't have to look at the back of my head. And we're just getting a hold of Remy and Kaeylee right now. Getting our voice all set up. So we're going to run through the houses, do the final reveal, and see what come about. So as we're getting everything ready, what I'm going to do is just remind viewers what their challenge was. They were doing houses. One was doing a house in Freeport, and then the other house was where? Here in Qeynos? Qeynos. What they were doing are these ambassadorial type houses where people could come to the home, learn about the guild. They were just kind of reaching out points to the community. So what they were given was 25 plat. I wonder if I still have that written down. I wasn't going to review all that, but well, I would say if you're curious what their restrictions were, I was just seeing if I had it on paper. I don't have it on paper anymore. Review episode 1. Okay, go back and find the very first episode, or the first part of episode 2. We're gonna put links to them both, but I think my wife was gonna tell me some of this stuff. They had to have a sitting room, a bar, a sales area, kitchen, dining area, oh, found it. A dining room, a bar, sales area, kitchen, dining room, common room, seating with a fireplace. Kaeylee was doing the Qeynos room. Remisa was doing the Neriak room. Oh, it was Neriak, not Freeport. The limits. They were not allowed to use any quested item. Let me just check to hear if I've got Remy. Remy, can you hear me?
I can.
Great. I'm going to turn you down because you are super loud. Just one second. Adjust my volume. I was just going over the requirements for the rooms. I'm just about done here. They needed, so no quested items. They could use city faction merchants and wares that did not cost any status. So, oh, and then it also had to have 2 beds and a bath. So with that in mind, that's what we're going to check to see if they've accomplished. So if you forgot what the rooms look like or needed to see what the bear one was, just go to the channel. Also on the forum, I think we'll also post a link to the very first part of this so you can kind of watch them back to back if you're not familiar with what happened previously, so you can kind of get caught up. With that in mind, we're going to walk over here and we're going to hit the rooms. Oh, and keep the flair of the home city. So something that ties Qeynos into the Qeynosian room, and then something that ties Neriak into the Neriakian room. And this time, I think I'll let you two decide whose room we're going to go ahead and visit first. This is root beer, by the way.
What do you think, Kaeylee?
Root beer.
I rolled a 20. What did you roll? I rolled 8. Then I guess I go first. I guess so.
Lovely. So I'm going to put myself on walk, otherwise I'll get all over the place. Yeah. Alright, so Kaeylee's doing the Qeynos room, so I gotta go to Qeynos. And this one right there, right? Alright, once I pop in, I'm going to do like I normally do. Just give me 1 second I got to take my user interface off so we can see completely, so you don't have to look at my hotbars and whatnot. And then Kaeylee, what we're going to do is from the point of entry, we're going to follow you. You go ahead and give us the tour, show us all the highlights, all the cool things. Once we're done with the tour, then I'll ask you a couple questions and we'll kind of wrap up your home, okay?
Okay. This is the entry hall, and in here I put the common area. The sales area is over here. We have lots of things to sell. Also plenty of room on the wall and the countertop for future boxes and crates that might need to go in here for sales. And that right back there is the door to the guild hall that was also required. Then we had the bar, and I wanted to have a place where they could, you know, take drinks by themselves or drink at the bar with alcohol, because that's required at a bar.
Can you share with us some of the things you used to create the bar?
Mostly, the bar was created out of ornate Antonican end tables with fulgonite tiles. I wanted to bring, my task was to bring part of Qeynos into here and keep the Qeynosian theme, and since the house came with a really nice stone wainscoting in certain areas, I decided to pull that and use that element throughout the house. And so I used that to build on the bar and keep that stony look, as well as integrate it into the fireplace here in the central part of the room.
Now, why did you choose not like a traditional fireplace up against the wall, but an open fireplace?
Well, I thought since it was a bar area as well as a common area, you can sit by the fire, or, you know, if people wanted to get their drinks and just kind of lounge around the fire, it would be more social to just kind of hang out if the fireplace was something that you could hang out around.
Now, on your couch and chair, it almost looks like these were treasure chests. Is that right?
Kromzek storage chests.
Mm-hmm.
The Kromzek bar, a painting, and some pillows.
Oh, a painting. That's what the pillows are leaning up against. That's very creative.
Yes.
Now, I'm looking at the walls, the ceilings. Did you do anything? Is this the original paneling that came with it, or did you have to purchase upgrades?
It is the oak paneling. It is not the original paneling, but it is the oak. I didn't do any of the super fancy stuff, but she already had some of the items purchased here in this house, so I just used what she already had purchased. And then downstairs, I thought was the appropriate place for the kitchen and dining area, as well as a little pantry.
Very nice kitchen.
I also wanted to, you know, pull the Qeynos rustic style in, and so I wanted the kitchen to relay that Qeynosian rustic, with lots of stone and wood and whatnot. I love kitchens. Kitchens are fun.
You always do such a great job with kitchens.
I like your little waste basket there.
Complete with waste.
Let's see. First we had Nibuda. She says I was late. Thanks for pointing that out. And then Liette, he says in here he wants one of her kitchens. So yeah, I agree. She does some pretty nice kitchens.
I couldn't find any chandeliers that I really, really liked, and so I had to create my own. It just seemed more fitting for the space.
So this is a custom chandelier?
Yes, it's made from an octagonal chandelier, and then I added the little cages around each of the lights, which are Gomari hanging lanterns that I turned upside down. And I built a china cabinet as well. every cook's kitchen has to have a recipe books and whatnot. And then we have a little storage room for extra ale for the bar, wine for cooking or the bar, and other accoutrements.
I might be a couple minutes late coming out, so I'll just be in here for a couple minutes. I'll be right out, I promise.
Don't drink all either.
Not all of it.
Then I also wanted to have a place that you could relax and rest, so I made 2 of them. The first one is out here in our garden. There wasn't a lot of space in this room, so I kind of had to try to break it up, but still allow passageways and walkways and whatnot to make it feel like a real garden area.
Oh, Nibuda says she missed it because she forgot to refresh the page to start. Yes, so we've started. You might have to watch the recording to catch the very beginning. Yeah, I'll do one more walkthrough here once we're done here.
In the second place I wanted to be able to relax, I was actually kind of 2 up here. Some window seats for those who like to just sit by the window, and a less window-ish place for people like my Aunt Remy who don't like windows, kind of back here with a nice fireplace and a library. Or if you just need to do some paperwork, a little desk in the corner. And I didn't have any doors that I liked. In fact, I only had 1 door stored away at all, and it happened to be Halassian. So I intend to replace this with a nice Qeynosian door when I can. But for the meantime, the bathroom absolutely had to have a door. So it has a door. It's kind of small. I'm not going in there. You can go in.
A little small.
All by yourself.
Small but cozy.
I kept the Qeynosian stone theme in there as well with the bathtub.
Now, for those curious about, combining different elements, what did you use to make your faucet and handles?
For the knobs, I used ornate inkwells and tipped them up on their side. And for the faucet, it's actually a cobalt sconce that I've hidden the fire inside the wall, and all you have left is the parts that would normally attach it to the wall.
Very, very clever. Well, hopefully they've got fire insurance just in case.
There's stone. It's protected. I use lots of stone.
They're good, okay. Well, your door does kind of have an outhousey kind of appeal to it, so no worries.
And for the final requirement of the place, there were bedrooms, and she said the bedrooms were more for just in case they needed to crash or something. So I didn't want to make them anything too personal. I just kind of wanted to leave it as a place that if you needed to crash, you could come in, put your stuff away in the chest, have a bed. There's a little shelf in the corner that they could, put whatever adventuring supplies they had up on the shelf. And both bedrooms are identical and kind of off here away at the top, away from all the hustle and bustle of the bar below. And that's the Qeynos hall.
Great. Well, let me just take a moment or two to ask you a few questions. And my first question would be, did you find it much easier this time to decorate a larger space with more items, or did you find yourself still feeling limited by the item count because you didn't use, I don't think you used expanders, so was that a hindrance?
I actually have 16 items that I can put in here still. So it was a lot easier. I wasn't quite as limited with the item count. I still have some items that I can use, as well as each of the flowers down in the garden was individually planted. So if I really needed to, I could pull out a few flowers and put something else if I found that I really needed that item count. The hardest part about the space was trying to keep that Qeynosian rustic feel without going over the top, because I really wanted to make a special space, but it's very hard to kind of keep it toned down when you're trying to keep it with that feel.
Right.
That's rustic.
Understandable. Well, now that we've done the walkthrough and you've seen it, is there something that you would like to redo, now that you've kind of gone through it and seen it as a whole for yourself?
No, I like it for what it's supposed to be. It's not as fancy as the honeymoon suite, but I do like the feel of it.
Very functional. Well, good. And then how about we get an opinion from Remy? Remy, what is something about this home that stands out to you?
Oh, there's all sorts of things I like about it. Once again, I think more than anything else, Kaeylee's innovation with turning objects into different objects is really shining through. Especially the sofas downstairs, those are lovely.
Well,
and I think, like she said, it's a very functional space. It does what it needs to do.
very cool. Well, what I'm going to do then is one last time do a walkthrough. I'm going to just start right here at the 2 bedrooms and then just work my way down, and we'll take a peek at the kitchen again and just one more time through. Then I'll take the guild portal back and then we'll hop over to Remy's.
Okay.
So one more peek at the bedrooms. And this bedroom's pretty much the same, so we'll just take a quick peek. So we got 2 rooms. And then
More bottles?
I actually did have more bottles than was provided because I found them on the merchant.
Yes, I know the merchant at it. The Iron Toe faction.
Yes, the Iron Toe faction.
I found them earlier today, and my item count was already gone, so...
well, I tell you, from a non-decorator standpoint, what's interesting is the fact that depending on how you've built faction, you will have different items available to you. So it'll be very hard to find 2 designers who build exactly the same way.
Very true.
And this was the additional seating area with the library. Then right over here was the sitting area next to the windows. Apparently it's not very sunny right now. And we'll just head right back on downstairs.
And the kitchen is fabulous. Love the kitchen.
Alright, now the kitchen was downstairs. Okay. With a dining area. And then we'll take a look right outside. So
the other thing that was a challenge was the lighting. Trying to get enough light in here without using the few items that actually give light were very difficult. One of the best lighting items in the game is the tucked-in hanging lamp. and they're ugly for trying to do it in this kind of a space. And so one thing that I did was above the chandelier, because none of those items gave light, I tucked one of the tucked-in lamps up into the ceiling where it's not visible by flipping it upside down. And I also did the same thing by tucking one down into the fireplace in the main room to give it that extra boost of light.
And those tucked-ins always give off such a nice warm glow, too.
Was this the outside?
Any space seem a little cozier.
This place would be terribly dark without those tucked-in lanterns hidden away.
But we're also seeing it at night. There's a little bit more ambient light during the day.
Well, and speaking of which, here comes the sun, just as you said that.
Ah!
For those who may not have seen this, Remy is our resident vampire, so she does not sparkle in the sunlight. She kind of has issues.
Burst into flames, yes. I know most free-bloods don't have that issue, but I do, so. I have special protective armor.
I'm going to hit the upstairs one more time since Kaeylee mentioned that it looks better, the seating area looks better in the sunlight. So let's go check for ourselves. Still, yeah, not quite there, but you can start to see the rays of sun starting to come through. So Remy, you might not want to look at this, but that actually does look nice as the first rays start peeking through.
I'll come back and catch the moonlight coming through.
All right, and with that, I'm going to go ahead and find the guild door. You'll have to show me the guild door again. It was this one, wasn't it?
Yes, it is.
Alright, Remy, I am teleporting back in. I'm going to go ahead and hop into the Neriak building.
Okie doke.
So that was Kaeylee's room. That was the Qeynosian. This is the room by Remy, and it's going to be in Neriak. So we'll get to see how she's blended Neriak into her stylings. Need more root beer. I swear it's root beer. Yeah, I took it out of the pantry. Alright, Remy, we're in, so the show is all yours. We're just going to follow you around.
Alright, this is the main entry foyer area. Again, there's lots of places that you can sit down and relax or wait for somebody, but this isn't really the main hanging out and relaxing place. We have a receptionist, actually, that you can come and sign in. The big tapestry, you may have seen it over at Kaeylee's too, is actually the guild tapestry for Darkvale Commonwealth, and so I thought it very fitting to give it a nice prominent location as soon as you walk into their embassy hall. Now over here on the left is the dining area. As you can see, they've got a side table that's laid out so you can come and get it. They're actually set up for breakfast right now, so there's cheese and muffins and some blueberries and coffee. Grab a plate and help yourself. Back here is the kitchen area. As you see, the cooks are hard at work preparing lunch. It looks like it's going to be turkey sandwiches today.
I was going to say at first glance, having a skull on the back of the hood of the person preparing my food probably would be a little intimidating, but I guess we're in Neriak, so...
Yeah, it is Neriak, and it's not like I could help what's on the back of the hoods. They are the mannequins, so I had to do something really kind of to cover their faces, and so we ended up with the hoods. It was that or the that head I know you love so much, the one that freaks you out.
Yeah, the oversized bobbleheads of Luke and Delir and Antonia
yeah.
Bell. Yeah, I still have. Yeah, it still freaks me out.
There is one on the lady up front, but it seemed wrong not to have your receptionist have a face. But all the other caretakers here have hoods.
Oh, and I see here in the sink you've got a stopper even.
Yes, of the stopper. And of course this is the cold storage area over here with lots of different things. The few food items they have on hand and all.
Very nice. Yeah, I always like big fridges.
I seem to have gotten stuck in the door.
Uh-oh.
Design
oh
flaw!
no!
Design flaw!
I've never gotten stuck. I've been in and out of these doors so many times.
Whoa, I guess you'll have to do a recall and come back.
I should just be able to pick it up and move it if I can grab it in the right spot.
Okay, well I'm going to take a look at your dining area while you get unstuck.
There we go.
That's the hazards of live television.
I'll have to double check on that, make sure nobody else gets stuck there.
Or Horde. Horde would be the resident ogre of the guild.
Yes, he's a sweetheart, but we don't want him to get stuck anywhere. Over here is our library. It's a nice little place to sit and quietly talk with people.
Now,
fireplaces, you'll find them all over the space, really.
And as I'm looking at the walls, what walls are these? Are these ones that you put in, or are these the purchased ones that you can get from the room itself?
They are the redwood. These are actually the same tiles that Kaeylee used last week in her honeymoon suite. Nerakians are certainly not afraid of color. That's why you see that none of the walls are going to be bright or light colors. Everything is very kind of dark in the space. Things like, you know, the jewel tones, dark reds, dark blues, dark purples.
And what can you tell us of this tapestry right here?
It's one I made. It's used one of the rares. I think it's a T7 rare, T6. I forget exactly. And in here is the bathroom. A bathroom. Because there's only a hanging tapestry on the door, I did put a little partition to help give privacy.
I still don't know if I could fit on that one. That's... I'm looking at it from like, I don't know if that's very comfy looking. Yeah.
I can't see it with you in the way.
I know, I kind of take up a lot of room. I'm looking at it going, I think I might even get sucked into that at some point.
It's more comfortable than it looks.
Oh. Okay. Well, I'll have to check that out later. I won't do that right now on this tour.
That would probably be a good thing.
Oh, the Buddha says I should do a sit and check it out right now. We'll come back, or do the sit chair option on it.
Here is the door to the guild hall that was provided, of course,
and required.
And required. Now up this way we have the temporary shelter areas, as they are. A full bath on this side, with the same potty that you're not so sure about. But we have a nice tub. It's got a nice shower curtain on it.
New things scare me until I try it at least once, so I won't say no. Oh.
And then these are the two bedrooms. again, they're fairly simple rooms, just like Kaeylee's. It's basically a place to unload your stuff. Give you nice, comfortable sleeping.
Well, I like the little tapestry, hanging down tapestries, though. Now, is this what the walls come like, or is this something that you put in? Because that's definitely a lot different than downstairs.
No, I put these in. As Kaeylee says, the hardest part to do anything in Neriak housing is to kind of match the blue. So I did it by leaving the blue accents and putting in different colors to go with it.
Let's see here, and
this is a slightly larger room for the slightly larger guest, and I love this. This is one of my favorite features of the house. Linen closet.
Very, very good. And as I was in the restroom here, Jezebel, welcome Jezebel, by the way, I didn't see you sneak in, says it's practically required that when touring a house you test the toilet. And the Buddha says, amen, Jazz. So I think once you ladies leave, I will go ahead and do a cursory test. I won't do that while you're here with me.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not going to be creepy that everybody else is going to watch either. Are you
It's a tucked-in lamp.
Yes.
Oh, wait. I want to try that closet.
Had a hard time in this space because nothing wanted to be sunk into the floors at all. I wanted to lower the beds a bit. There were various things I wanted to do.
Yes, I have the same problem in Qeynos. I could hide things in the ceiling, but I couldn't hide things in the floor very well.
So what lamp are you talking about?
Some floors hide things just fine, and others do not. Oh, the tucked-in lamp is right up here. The one that she was mentioning.
As you can see, it's not very pretty.
No, it kind of looks like a gnarled pumpkin, stem thing that's been all twisted up into a hook, like a tree root almost.
I like the way it makes this painting glow, though, so maybe I'll flip it up. Now, on this other side is where we have our sales area.
Let me catch up. Everybody walks so much faster than me. I'm so jealous.
As you can see, there's all sorts of things for sale here, from books and clothing. There's a place to try clothing on, a mirror to view things. Various crates of things, weapons, potions.
Well, so now that brings up a question for me. This is more towards Kaeylee. What was your thoughts behind setting up your sales area? Was that just more of the negotiating? Because here we've actually got items for sale.
I just thought of it more as a small sales area. Nothing big or overly fancy because they have the guild hall for that and they have other stores and whatnot available. So I just figured it was supposed to be something small, but this is fabulous.
And that, again, that's one of the things, I said I really like seeing how people interpret, the different design requirements. So I was just curious what drove your idea behind your sales space, and then this one here, which is quite different. So when you envisioned your sales space, Remy, then what was your inspiration, for having things out? Why did you put actual stuff in your store?
Because without it, it would be a big empty room with nothing in it.
Sometimes that's probably the best way to go, because I had the items. All right.
Right now, the piece de resistance of this house, the very best place to come and hang out and just enjoy, is right outside.
And the Buddha says, yeah, go Remy. That's right. Put me in my place. Tell it like it is. Oh, this is nice.
This is the bar. Now, originally when I was looking at this space, I was thinking, what could I do out here? Should I make stables? Should I do something? And then I looked out over the view and realized I would be a fool if I did not make this the bar. Because look at that view. Isn't that amazing?
Now, I have to admit, I think we talked about this on the first part of this, where your main advantage was going to be the fact that you've got such a wonderful open outside area to the view of Neriak, and the Qeynos unfortunately didn't provide that, and I think that this really has set it off.
You saw my Papa San.
Yes, I did. I saw this in Kaeylee's house, the low riding Papa San chairs, and thought, ooh, perfect.
Well, speaking of that, do they come this way, or did you have to, is this some item manipulated, or is it really just Papa San chairs?
They are Papa San chairs, but usually for some strange reason they have them way up on top of these long columns, and I've just sunk them into the ground. Like you would find actual Papa San chairs. If these were Papa San chairs and at full height at this size, you would probably fall over trying to climb up into them. Easily taller than I am. Our bartenders are busy at work.
Every time though I look and I see that skull on the back of the hood, though, I'm thinking, do I really want that guy mixing my drinks?
Well, we have several beers on tap here, as you can see. There's about 5 beers on tap.
Okay. Well, don't mind me. I'm going to just kind of get a sneak peek behind the scenes here.
I don't know if you noticed the blenders on the back.
Well, the first thing, actually, before I look at the blenders, I just saw here you got the pour spot. So you got where you put up the cups, and it's got the drain, and then you got the spouts. So let me look at your blenders.
Those glowy blue ball things.
Oh, okay. Yep. There you go. With the big green button for blend. Wonderful.
Yes.
Yeah. So the other one, is it a mirror design? Is this the same design over here? It kind of looks like.
It's pretty much the same design. Bottles might be in slightly different places, but the actual bar design is the same on both.
Very, very cool. Wonderful. Then the couple of same questions I have is, how did the item count work for you then when designing your house? Did you feel that you constrained, or did this work out just fine?
I actually was a bit constrained. There are a lot of things I would have liked to have done to enhance the areas I've got. But bars are actually quite, are very hard on the item count, because you need cups, you need glasses, you need bottles, you need all sorts of things, and it will eat through your item count very quickly. So that was rather hard.
And one question I always like to ask, it's kind of silly, I think. I mean, I like it though, but after you've gone through and explained things to us, is there anything that you would want to change now that you've seen it again?
There are many things that I plan to change before I hand the space back to Darkvale, but mostly it involves things that would be against the rules for this competition, and certainly I owe them 2 more rooms downstairs, because I promised them a fully furnished space.
I remember that. I remember that because you said because I guess this place was a lot bigger than the Qeynos one, you actually kept 2 rooms closed.
Right. There are the 2 largest rooms are actually downstairs. So we closed those off.
All right, and then Kaeylee, just to throw you on the spot again, what did you like most about this space? The overall, what's your favorite thing?
My Papa San.
Well, they were put to good use, so that turned out great. And while I'm doing the final walkthrough, I'll let you 2 ladies work this out. But can you go ahead then and share what your final costs were? I know you had a 25 plat limit, but how close did you come to that, and what were your challenges working with the 25 plat? Discuss that while I walk the house.
Well, my final count for the house was about 18 plat, 70 gold, 24 silver, and 30 copper. That's best I can figure. And of course I'll be using the rest of the 25 plat to finish up furnishing the house. I also want to get some of the food from the Vigilant down in the kitchen area. Since those are quested, though, I couldn't put those in the house for the competition.
And my final count was 18 plat, 47 gold, 71 silver, and 86 copper.
And if I have enough plat left over, I might get some of the T8 wood, 9 wood, and make the weathered libraries bookshelves, because those are just beautiful for the library here.
I did have to use those
rich
since
opulence.
I didn't have the access to the quilt wool bookcases yet.
I'd have bought those for you.
Yeah, then you would have saw my face putting them in.
You could have walled off the entrance so I couldn't see anything as I dropped them down.
It's okay, I didn't mind. They look good.
Plus, you might have been able to get Liette or somebody like that to have gotten them for you.
He hasn't done them either.
Okay, I'll be right back.
Together.
I gotta do the toilet test.
Is that going to become a standard test on these contests?
It just might. Let's see. Let me spin out. I gotta unzoom a little bit and. It's hard to get my camera. Yeah. Well, my aim's a little off, so don't forgive me. You know what though? But it seems like it could work. I just gotta aim better is all. Okay, so future designers, just remember when I come to visit, I'm going to be testing some features.
You need a janitor. You missed.
I missed.
I've built many toilets over the years, but I can't recall anybody actually ever trying to use them.
We're taking it to the next level.
Doesn't feel very Neriak here, though.
Uh-oh.
Well, it would have helped. Well, everything is kind of nice and dark and all that. I mean, I could have put the stone in, like the exists up at the staircases and everything, but I just like the red better.
Well, I tell you what.
But it would have been, you know, again, if we had a city festival, I believe Neriak is coming up next. I certainly would have done it in those colors, but I just didn't have anything from that festival hanging around. They don't really give us any blue stones.
Well, I'm going to take this back to the guild hall, and then what I'm going to do is open up a couple minutes. We do actually have a few folks who are logged in and are able to chat with us. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and see if any of them have questions. So while I get warped, if anybody has a question, go ahead, type your question. If you have a question about, you know, floor layout or anything like that, I'll go ahead and open it up to the viewers. And it is quiet, so they might be typing in, or it could just be that putting them on the spot, nobody had any questions at the moment. So we'll go ahead and let me unzoom. Let's see here. There's Kaeylee. Are you coming back, Remy?
Oh, yes. I was busy pulling up the chat so I could actually read any questions.
Ah, very cool. Well, while you're coming back, then basically, let me just go ahead and Nibuda says no questions here. So what I'll do then is, between Kaeylee, Remy, any final shots, information, comments, anything like that before we go?
I will say this this challenge was a little more exhausting than the last one. Much bigger space, much more to do.
It was also very hard for me to concentrate on it because I did want so badly to do more with the space than try to keep it down and Qeynosian, kind of the rustic. It was very hard to try to keep my thoughts there rather than going over the top and going crazy.
Will you be making any changes before you hand the space back?
No, I think it suits this purpose. I wanted to make sure I left some item count for any crates or anything that she might need adjustment-wise. So I did want to leave a little bit of extra space for her to put in whatnot. And I knew you would have that, having the extra room.
Well, Shadow here, he already put his vote in for the guild hall. So, apparently we've looked around here a couple times. So the guild hall so far has got a vote. But we still need votes for the 2 embassy rooms. So let me go ahead and wrap up. And what I'm going to say is come to the forums, and you can go ahead and cast a vote there. Probably I'm thinking what would be easiest for me to try and tally up. If you would like to leave a vote for the space that you think is best, I'm going to try something a little bit different. Go ahead and just send me a private message from the forum. It's going to fill up my inbox, but I don't mind. That would actually just be easier for me to count and tally votes. So if you want to vote for Kaeylee or Remisa, Remy, just send me a private message on the EverQuest 2 forums, and I'll go ahead and start keeping a tally of votes. And that, I think, is going to be the easiest for me to collect and find them all. And you can go ahead and leave comments in the forum post. What we're going to do is post a forum. It's going to have a link to the first episode, and it'll have a link to this episode so you can watch them back to back. Just easier to find them if you want to see them both together. And then you can go ahead and comment on the episode. Also, we're going to be looking for another episode next week. I think Kaeylee and Remy are ready for a break. So if you know somebody that would be interested in doing a build-off of some kind who wants to compete on the Norrathian Design Wars, go ahead, feed me a couple names. We'll see if we can get in touch with them. And it might not be tomorrow when we start another one, but as soon as I've got 2 people who want to go ahead and compete, then we'll go ahead and start announcing that episode and arrange time to film that one. So, you know, just keep in touch on the forums, and we'll get back to you. So please do your votes, private messages. That way I can tally them up, find some other folks who want to compete, and we will post this episode as soon as we can and let everybody know. We want to hear your thoughts and ideas. Also, even if you're not interested in the Norrathian Design Wars, we are doing the private tours that we've been televising. Look at me. I'm a big shot. We've also done dungeon runs, but if you have an idea, a couple folks who want to do like trading spaces or Pimp My Curb or whatever, if you have another idea, go ahead, private message me that as well. No, Nibuda wants to, yeah, Norrathian Research Library, that is on the slate. We will be touring that at some point as well. Let's see. Yeah, she's ready for tours. Alright, team. So I'll go ahead and let you guys go. We'll get this posted up. Remember, vote. Private message me so I can tally up the votes and be best and easiest. And anybody who wants to compete, let us know, and we'll film us up an episode. Alright? Thank you, ladies, so much.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Alright, have a good night. Thanks again. This is Jajin with Pug TV. Remember that, Pug TV. Woo! This is your EverQuest 2 housing channel and other stuff. But come here for all your housing needs. Or televising needs. Whatever. Anyway, bye.